All right, so we've been talking about volume of all types of three-dimensional figures this past week or so. We learned about prisms, we learned about cylinders, we learned about cones, pyramids, right? Today we're talking about spheres, which is basically a three-dimensional circle. So basketball, soccer balls, baseballs, those would all be spheres, right? So just like with the circle, a sphere is going to have a center, okay? And if you were to draw from the center a line to the edge of the sphere, it's all those segments should be equidistant to that center. Yes. I'll move. All right. All right, so if you look at this picture down here, do you see how there's a red rectangle cutting that sphere kind of in half, right? If you look at how it's cutting that sphere in half, you'll notice this is called a cross section. It's a two-dimensional what on the inside? What would you call that? A circle. So when you cut that circle or sphere in half, you slice it in half, the inside would be a two-dimensional circle, right? That two-dimensional circle is called the great circle. And when we talk about the radius, we're talking about the radius of that great circle. If we say the diameter, I'm talking about the diameter of that great circle. So the first important part is the formula. Just like we've learned the formula for all the other volumes of three-dimensional figures, this is the volume of spheres formula. It says 4/3 pi times the radius. What does it say after r? What does that 3 mean? Cubed. So we're not squaring it. We've done r squared a lot. For this formula, we are going to do r cubed. That means the radius times itself 3 times. Now, instead of multiplying by 4/3, which might seem a little bit tricky, instead, an easier thing you could do is multiply by 4 and divide by 3. That's what multiplying by 4/3 would actually mean. You're multiplying by 4, dividing by 3. So when I do these questions, I'm going to use this formula. It's easier to plug it into the calculator when you multiply by 4 and divide by 3 versus multiplying by 4/3. If they give you the radius of the sphere, this is quite simple. All you do is plug in the radius where it says r. It gets more challenging when they don't give you the radius and you have to do some extra work to find the radius. Are we ready for our first example? All right, so our first example, we're finding the volume of the soccer ball. Remember, volume means the space on the inside. If I wanted to fill the soccer ball with air, that would be volume. If I wanted to paint the outside of the soccer ball, that would be called surface area, which we will focus on tomorrow. So this is our formula. Volume of a sphere is 4 times pi times r cubed divided by 3. So all I have to do, what piece of information did they give me in this question? The radius is 4.5. So where it says r, I'll plug in a 4.5. So I'll say 4 pi, which means 4 times pi, times the radius, which is 4.5 cubed, all divided by 3. What do you always take care of first in an expression like this? The exponents, right? So I'm going to do 4.5 to the 3rd power. That does not mean 4.5 times 3. I don't expect anyone to know what 4.5 to the 3rd power is without using a calculator. That's fine. So 4.5 to the 3rd power goes in my calculator first. This whole thing we said was what? 41 point what? 91.25? 125. Which if it's 125, but doesn't that mean 13? Because the 2 would turn into a 3, right? That's just that. Now I have to multiply this number times 4 times and then times pi, right? All right, so in the calculator we're going to do 4 times pi times 91.13 and then divide by 3. Did we get 381.72? So that's the volume. Again, when they give you the radius, It's as simple as following the formula and plugging in the R where it says R and then doing your math. And since this is in inches, we'll put inches, and since this is volume, we'll put cubed. All right. I'm going to let you guys try this one. The same type of question, number 1, I'll give you about a minute, but there's nothing more difficult on this one than it was on the one we just did. So there we go, 2,144.66 meters cubed. All right, the next one is still pretty simple, but it's a tiny bit more difficult. What's the reason that this number 2 is a tiny bit more difficult? It doesn't give you the radius, instead it gives you the diameter, but that's easy. How do we find the radius if we know the diameter? Divide by 2. So on this one, since the diameter is 22, what is the radius going to equal? Half of that, which is 11. So we now do the same thing. 4 times pi times the radius, which is 11. We cube that, and then I'll divide it by 3. So I'm going to quickly do that on my calculator. 11 cubed. And then times 4 times pi divided by 3. Did we get 5,575.28 yards cubed? All right, number 3. What's the problem with number 3? Say that a little louder. They gave us the what? The circumference. They didn't give us the radius. They didn't give us the diameter to just cut in half. They gave us the circumference. We need the radius. Do we have enough information to figure out the radius if they gave me the circumference? For a second, but I got to keep going. So I put the circumference formula right here because we're going to need it. They gave us the circumference. Circumference, to find circumference, you do pi times the diameter. If you know the circumference, don't you have enough information to solve for the diameter? And if you know the diameter, don't you have enough information to know the radius? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use this circumference formula to figure out the diameter. What did they tell me the circumference was? 20 pi. And I'm going to be honest, the fact that they left it in terms of pi is going to make this easier for you. Equals pi times the diameter. We don't know the diameter. That's the variable we're trying to solve for. What would we do to try to solve for that variable right there? Divide by pi to get rid of multiplying by pi. And when you divide by pi on both sides, what happens to the pi symbol on the left-hand side? It goes away as well. That's what I mean by it being left in terms of pi, is making it a little easier. We don't actually have to divide anything in our calculator because the pi's just cancel out. So what does that tell me the diameter is? 20, which therefore makes the radius half of that, which is 10. So now in my formula, volume equals 4 times pi times the radius, which is 10 cubed all over 3. Now, you don't really even need to put 10 to the third power in your calculator. 10 to any power is just a 1 with that many zeros. So 10 to the third is a 1 with 3 zeros, which is 1,000. So we end up with 4 times pi times 1,000 divided by 3. So let's put that in our calculator.
What's the point of writing all the extra stuff?
So I could show you what we're doing. And also it keeps you organized because it's easy to just plug things into the calculator and not know if you're missing pieces. So I get 4188.79. And this is centimeters cubed. I like to know what you're plugging in the calculator. First of all, so I could see what your mistakes might be, and also so I could prove that you're like the one doing the work and not copying off people. So I don't expect you to actually do the multiplication on your own, but I do want to see what you're plugging into the calculator so I know you know what you're doing. All right, what can you tell me about 4 and 5? Those are composite solids. That isn't one particular three-dimensional figure. It's 2 figures put together. What can we call number 4? What 2 figures are being put together on number 4? It's not a cylinder for number 4. A cone is on the bottom, and the top isn't really a sphere, it's a semi-sphere. It's half of a sphere. Do you agree with that? Now, I put the formulas right here. I put the formula to find the volume of a cone. I put the formula for the volume of a sphere, but since it's a half a sphere, what will we have to do after we find the volume of that sphere? Divide by 2, because we only need half of it. So let's find the volume of the cone first, because we're going to have to add both of these volumes at the end. So the volume is equal to pi. What is the radius of the base of the cone? 6. What is the height of the cone? 12. So I have pi times 6 squared times 12. So 6 squared is definitely 36. So I'm going to do pi times 36 times 12 in our calculator. So pi times 36 times 12. We should get this number, 1357.17. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Then divide that by 3 because that part of the formula, right? I shouldn't have written this down yet. My bad. So let me actually erase that because that's not my final answer there. All of this needs to be divided by 3, which means our final answer for just the cone is 452.39. I'm not going to write feet cubed yet because that's not my final answer. Now, when I want to do the sphere, I'm going to do 4 times pi. The radius is also 6, and that has to be cubed. And then we're going to divide that by 3 because that's what the formula says. So I'm going to put that in my calculator. I'm going to do 6 cubed first, which is 216 times 4 times pi. Divide that by 3. And you should get 904 point something, right? But that's a whole entire sphere. What did we say about the sphere that they're showing you here? It's half of a sphere. So I divide that number by 2. So 904.78 has to now be divided by 2. And you get 452, which ironically is exactly the same thing as we got here, right? So can I just take this number in my calculator and times it by 2? That's the same as adding those two numbers together, right? So my final answer, I'm running out of room, but my final answer, I'll write it up here, is going to be 904.78. This is in feet, and this is cubed. Oops, you can't see that. My bad. I put it up here. All right, last question. What can you tell me about the composite solid on number 5? So it's definitely a cylinder in the middle. And it's 2 semi-spheres, one on the left, one on the right. But if you were to take that cylinder away and take the 2 semi-spheres and put them together, wouldn't that make one full sphere? So I don't need to divide by 2 this time because it doesn't make sense to do the semi-sphere and then do it again. I'll just do it once and I don't have to divide by 2. So to find the volume of the cylinder, I put the volume formulas. Don't get confused. We've done a lot of formulas lately where you have to divide by 3 at the end. Does a cylinder have to be divided by 3 at the end? No, so don't get confused there. So for the cylinder, the middle part, I'm going to say pi. What is the radius? If you look at the bases of that cylinder, which is the 2 circles, what is the radius of the base of the cylinder? And you square it. What is the height of the cylinder? 14, because if you were to take that cylinder and flip it so it's sitting on the circle, you would see that it's 14 inches or meters tall, right? So this is 36, so pi times 36 times 14. What do you get when you plug all that in your calculator? 1,583.36. Like that? Perfect. All right, that's just 36, my bad. That's just the cylinder. Let's now do the sphere. So 4 times pi times the radius, which isn't the radius of the sphere the same as the radius of the cylinder? Because the top of the cylinder is the same as the great circle, right? That's going to be cubed. We've done this a few times now. 6 to the 3rd power is 216. So 4 times pi times 216 divided by 3. Can someone tell me what you get? Oops, when you do that? 9, which is the same number we got a minute ago. 0.88?
Yeah. No, 0.78.
78. All right. And then last but not least, I'm going to add those two together. Tell me our final answer. 2,000.14 and meters cubed. That would be our final answer.
Do we submit this now?
Yes, you may submit these notes. There's actually it's not a big ideas assignment, it's just a regular PDF assignment for homework tonight. And tomorrow we'll work on surface area. Our test is on Wednesday, which is a week from now. We still have to learn surface area, and then really after that, we're just gonna be reviewing Friday, Monday, and Tuesday are all gonna be reviewing surface area and then reviewing for the test itself.